Okay, now what is this graph? Like, comment on this graph. First of all, you should say this is the graph depicting the phenomenon of fatigue or phenomenon of generation of fatigue in skeletal muscle. Phenomenon of genesis of fatigue in skeletal muscle, right? In skeletal muscle. That is the first opening point for you, like opening comment for this graph. Now, immediately the second question will be what is fatigue? So, आप खुद सोच के देखिए what is fatigue? Fatigue is it's a reduction in your working capacity, right? Like reduction in a particular individual or particular cell or particular organs working capacity. Is it permanent or temporary? It's always temporary. So fatigue is a temporary reduction of working capacity. And why it happened? आप जैसे पूरा दिन काम करते हो, शाम तक थक जाते हो. So it is temporary reduction in working capacity. Why did it happen? Because of prolonged exertion. So what is the definition of fatigue? Fatigue is temporary reduction in working capacity of a cell or an organ or an individual which results from prolonged exertion, right? Prolonged exertion. So that is the definition of fatigue. Now, why did the fatigue happen in this now muscle preparation? So before going to that particular point, like why did it happen in this one, first of all, like say, okay, you said this is the graph of phenomenon of genesis of fatigue and you have defined the fatigue. Now if you look at this diagram, see, this is the baseline, this is initial, this is the initial, one second, this particular point is the initial genesis of, like say, sorry, this is the baseline, right? So this is the baseline and this is point of application of the stimulus. So first of all, how did you record this graph? What you did, like say you say this is the drum, okay, and the recording lever is over here. So the drum is moving, okay, it is moving. So you provide the first stimulus and you got the graph. So that one complete rotation of the drum happened at the time the second stimulus is applied, right? So आपका जो पहला स्टिमुलस आपने प्रोवाइड किया उसकी जो रिकॉर्डिंग आई, it covered the entire circumference of the that drum जिस पे आपने ग्राफ लगाया हुआ है. So once it reaches to the point of stimulus, तभी सेकेंड आपका ये सेकेंड मसल ट्विच स्टार्ट हो गया. फिर ये रोटेट करके आया, तब तक सेम पॉइंट ऑफ स्टिमुलस पे पहुंचा, थर्ड सिंपल मसल ट्विच स्टार्ट हो गया, राइट? सो लाइक this way you will keep on getting the all the simple muscle twitch because the point of the stimulus will stay same, right? Point of stimulus हमेशा ऐसे रोटेशन हो रही है उसकी ड्रम की स्पीड पे कि point of stimulus will always stay the same, this point. So this is the baseline. So ये मार्किंग तो आपको ये समझाने के लिए की हुई है 1 2 3 4, वो मार्किंग नहीं होगी. तो आपको ये बताना होगा कि दिस इज नॉट द सिंपल मसल ट्विच ऑफ द फर्स्ट स्टिमुलस, क्योंकि वी हैव गॉट द टेंडेंसी टू से कि जो पहले वाला ग्राफ आया ना, जो फर्स्ट स्टिमुलस से सिंपल मसल ट्विच आया है, वो मैक्सिमम के साथ आएगा। नो, एटलीस्ट दो या तीन नीचे वाला बताओ कि दिस इज द फर्स्ट वन, दिस वन इज द फर्स्ट वन, and means when we provide the first stimulus we got this graph, then we provide the second stimulus, then we got the second graph, higher one, the third higher one, fourth higher one. Why it is increasing, the amplitude is increasing initially for 3 or 4 contraction? Because of the head start it's getting, right? Because of the head start it is getting. And why the head start it's getting? Because of the beneficial effect. You can say more and more release of the calcium ion from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. All these things, the reason for the beneficial effect we have discussed in the previous slide. So go back to those slides and listen about what are the reasons for the beneficial effect, like increase in the calcium ion from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and the muscle temperature has increased because of contraction increase, which will lead to increased metabolism, and there will be reduction in the viscosity, reduction in the inertia, right? So ultimately it will end up in increasing the amplitude. So because of the beneficial effect of the first stimulus we got the higher amplitude of the second stimulus, and because of the beneficial effect of the first two we got more higher for the third one. Similarly, because of the beneficial effect of all these three we got more higher up for the fourth one. So it will keep on getting increasing the amplitude because of the beneficial effect. Now after say 10 stimulus there is reduction, like this is the 10th one, just imagining 10th one. So the amplitude has got reduced. Why the amplitude has got reduced? Means now the muscle has started getting fatigued, it's getting tired. So why it is getting tired? What are the reason or cause of the fatigue? That might be the next question. First of all, like you are continuously stimulating, say if we take the example of now muscle preparation, like say this is the vertebral end of the now, this is muscular end, and then there is muscle. So what we were doing, we were stimulating at this particular point, right? So what is happening? There is conduction of the nerve, now there is release of the neurotransmitter over here, then travel of the impulse enter through the T tubule, then release of the calcium ion, then contraction. All these things are happening. Like what are the causes of the latent period that you know. Now why the fatigue is happening? Fatigue might happen due to any tiredness happening from the point of stimulus to the point of contraction. So first and foremost is lack of the nutrition, like it requires the oxygen as well as the nutrients. So lack of nutrient is first and foremost reason for generation of the fatigue. Second, there is accumulation. Because of the continuous contraction there is accumulation of the end product or end metabolites, we can say, and those end metabolites is like lactate and all these things. That is the second reason. What is the third reason? Third reason is reduction in the neurotransmitter. Like say we are continuously stimulating over here, the impulse is going, reaching the neuromuscular junction at the synapse, it's releasing the acetylcholine. So acetylcholine can release up to a certain limit, उसके बाद तो वो खत्म हो जाएगा ना. So there is reduction in the acetylcholine level, there is reduction in the calcium ion. Now because continuously this muscle is working, so instead of the aerobic it might get converted into anaerobic. So what is the end product of anaerobic oxidation? Lactate. So what will the lactate do to the pH? pH will get reduced, right? More and more hydrogen ion will be there, and then it will ultimately end up in reduction of the glycogen storage. So all these are the reasons of the fatigue. So what are the reasons of the fatigue? First is lack of nutrition, second is accumulation of end product metabolites, third is reduction of the neurotransmitter calcium ion, then because of the accumulation of the lactate there is reduction in pH, and then reduction of the glycogen storage. So that is the reason for the fatigue. Now so if we look at this diagram carefully what is happening to the baseline. This was the initial baseline, right? This was the, one second, yes, this was the initial baseline. Now if we look at the baseline is moving higher, upper and upper, like moving higher and higher, ऊपर पहुंचती जा रही है. This red line shows, say, the baseline for, say, the 80th stimulus or the 90th stimulus. So what is it called? It is called as contraction remainder. Means even if the muscle is not contracting, but if we provide the stimulus, muscle has totally got fatigued, there won't be any further contraction, but there won't be complete relaxation too. Why? Because the relaxation, if you recall back your theory part, relaxation also needs ATP, right? And ATP has been consumed. Because of the consumption or the depletion of the ATP, there is incomplete relaxation of the muscle. So that's why it is not reaching up to the initial baseline. The baseline has shifted up, and this thing is called as contraction remainder. Means whatever the contraction has happened, that remains. That is not ultimately, like, the muscle is not reaching to the maximum relaxation. A small part of the contraction still remains there. That is called as contraction remainder, and the reason for that is due to the depletion of ATP. Now, what can be the other question? The other will be, what is the site of fatigue? The site of fatigue in this nerve muscle preparation is neither the nerve, the initial site of the fatigue, it's neither the nerve nor the muscle, but in between part, the neuromuscular junction. Means the first and foremost site of the fatigue is neuromuscular junction. How will you prove it? The proof is, see, there is one more thing you can see over here. Direct stimulation of the muscle. Direct stimulation of the muscle means if we directly stimulate the muscle, after muscle getting fatigued, entirely fatigued, if we directly stimulate the muscle, we will get this kind of the graph. It means the muscle is contracting. So how will you prove that it is a neuromuscular junction? It's not the muscle. We can prove by directly stimulating the muscle. Then how do we know that it is not the nerve part where the fatigue is happening, but it is happening at the neuromuscular junction? For that, we have done two experiments. You can answer this question, like, say, examiner asks, how will you prove it? So tell him that we will take two nerve muscle preparation, one nerve muscle preparation, and say this is the second nerve muscle preparation. Okay, what we do in both the A and B, we will provide the successive stimulus of the same frequency and the same strength, but in this one B, we have put an ice cube over here. We put the ice block at the nerve. What is the effect of providing the ice block at the nerve? The nerve impulse cannot travel through the ice block. So if we provide the stimulus, it will reach over here. It won't go to the other part of the nerve, right? Distal to this ice cube. So we start with this one by putting the ice cube on the nerve and keep on providing the stimulus of the same strength and same frequency in both the condition. So what will happen in the B? There won't be any contraction because this nerve impulse is not traveling at all. We keep on stimulating, providing the stimulus in both the one. In A, we will get this kind of the graph until we get the totally fatigued muscle in the A. Now what we will do? We will remove this ice block, and now we will stimulate both B and A. What will happen in the A? This muscle has got fatigued. It won't contract. But what we will see in this B1, we have removed the ice block, we provided the stimulus, we will get the stimulus. If अगर नाव होता साइट ऑफ फटीग, तो नाव को तो हम ऑलरेडी स्टिमुलेट कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हमें कोई रिस्पॉन्स ही नहीं मिलना चाहिए था, राइट? और इसमें अगर हम मसल को डायरेक्ट स्टिमुलेट करें, देन वी विल गेट द ग्राफ. बट इफ वी stimulate the nerve, we won't get the graph. It means neither the muscle is getting fatigued initially, neither the nerve nor the muscle in between part, that is the neuromuscular junction. Why? Because of the depletion of the acetylcholine. So that's like we can say all these kind of the questions you might get in this graph. So this is a diagram from a practical book. You won't get this kind of the graph, you will get the kind of the graph, let me show you, say this one. Okay, this is the graph you will get. So in this graph, there some of the graph might have get the marking of 1, 2 and 3. It means this is the kind of the simple muscle twitch you will get in the first stimulus providing the second. If it is not marked, then you can say that this is the first one, second one, third one, then it will keep on decreasing, and this baseline has shifted, means from this was the initial baseline, it has shifted at this level because of the contraction remainder. And if we directly stimulate the muscle, then anyone from this one you can say we will get this kind of the graph in direct muscle stimulation. So that's regarding the generation of the fatigue. Yes, you might get the question like what is the site of the first site of the fatigue in a particular individual. This is for the nerve muscle preparation, the neuromuscular junction. In human being, the living, working, talking human being, like आप कहते हो ना कि मैं इवनिंग तक काम करते करते फटीग हो गया, तो इनिशियल पार्ट मीन्स इनिशियल साइनेप्स. यू आर नॉट ए ऑटोमेटिक मशीन कि आप मान लो कोई फिजिकल वर्क कर रहे हो कि आपने से कुछ वर्कआउट किया है. चलो जस्ट इमेजिन आप वर्कआउट करने गए हो, आज आपका आर्म डे है कि बाइसेप्स का आपने फंक्शन किया है. सो वो बाइसेप्स है, वो आपका आइसोलेटेड नर्व मसल प्रिपरेशन तो नहीं है ना, इट इज़ इन द इंटैक्ट बॉडी. सो इनिशियल साइनेप्स कहाँ आएगा? इट इज़ इन द ब्रेन. सो इन ए living, walking, talking human being, a live human being, the site of the fatigue is synapse in the brain, not the neuromuscular junction at the biceps, right? But in isolated nerve muscle preparation, the site of the fatigue is neuromuscular junction.